Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Excuse me. It's 3 o'clock, and
Good afternoon,
just
sir.
want to say good afternoon to everyone, and just appreciate us for um making our time to join this session. I know today is a very busy day, world over, and but we really appreciate your presence here, and also would like to say Merry Christmas, even if it's Christmas is past now, but we're still in the season. And as we look forward to a happy new year, we're also trusting God for better things in 2023. In a few hours, we'll be in 2023. So it won't be out of place to also say a happy new year. Our facilitator is on ground already, but I would just want to appeal to us to wait for an additional 5 to 10 minutes so that we can allow others to join us, and then we can kickstart. So I'll just appeal to us to wait for another 5 to 10 minutes before we start. Thank you very much. All right. Good afternoon again, everyone. Apologies for starting a bit late. We're just trying to wait for to see if a few more participants would join us. But we're gonna kick start now. For those of us who have been with us since the beginning, we understand the purpose of this mentoring session and the fact that this session is brought to us by Network of Professionals for Missions. It's a mission mobilization agency that is focused on mobilizing Christian professionals. Because one of our goals is to see Christian professionals being active soul winners and evangelists in the marketplace. And we believe that the way Christian professionals can actually do that more effectively is when they are excellent at their work, such that they are not dropping the ball at their workplace. They are not falling short of expectations at their workplace. And because of that, I mean, you create an easy environment around you, whether with your juniors or superiors, to be able to communicate the gospel, because everybody can see that you're excellent at what you do. Nobody can find fault with your work. I think Paul was the one talking about, when he was talking about Christian persecution, he was saying that even if we are persecuted, we should not be persecuted for breaking the law. I'm just paraphrasing. So the people of the world will not find an excuse to challenge the God you say you serve. So we must be excellent at our workplaces, not just in the work we do, but how we do the work, the integrity behind our work, the spirit behind our work, our lifestyle should also be reflected in our work, not just being proficient at your work, but your lifestyle should also be reflected at your workplace. Everybody should know that you're a Christian. Everybody should know who you represent, and that should be reflected in your character as well. So it's not just about the skill; it's also about character. And character is actually more important than the skill, because if you have good skill without good character, then you have nothing. So today we have our facilitator with us, Mr. Obasemola Olayinka. He is he works with P&G. Sorry for that. He works with Procter Gamble. He started his career at Procter Gamble, and he has been Procter Gamble for a number of years. He's an engineer. He's an engineer by training, and he's a senior manager at Procter Gamble. And he has more than 10 years experience working with Procter Gamble, and he'll be the one handling today's session. So please, let's just pay attention, try as much as possible to ensure that we participate throughout the session. And at the end of the day, hopefully, by God's grace, I know we'll be blessed and our lives will be transformed. And what we've learned here today, we'll go back and apply it to our work and the results, and we'll see the fruits of that at our workplaces in Jesus' name. And let's also not forget the goal of all this. It is to equip us with the right tools, or rather make us excellent in our workplace, such that it becomes easier for us to share. Let's not forget that everything we are doing here, yes, we want to be good at our workplaces, but it's also for the fact that we can become active and effective workplace evangelists. So I'll just hand over to our facilitator now, Mr. Obasemola. We are happy to have you here. Can we just welcome him with a round of applause? I mean, you can just use any of the Teams icon to just show that. So can we just welcome him? Sir, we're happy to have you here this afternoon. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Evangelist Emmanuel. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here as well. Thank you for the opportunity given to speak to the network of professionals for missions. I'd like to also thank Evangelist Emmanuel Osomi, the visionary for this
evangelist.
Yes, that's it.
Don't know why I said I keep calling us evangelist.
we collect those things that be not as though they were because they are now, right?
Amen.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. It's always I see it as an opportunity, and I also always look forward to speaking in line of some of the things that has built my career up to this point, both technically and even with respect to the foundation of our faith, right? Which is very important, because at the end of the day, all this has to be done to the glory of God, not just to work, achieve career achievement, put food on the table, and no bottom line impact, to the community or to the body of Christ. Okay, so without further ado, I would share my screen now. Okay. Please tell me when you can see my screen.
I can see your screen.
Okay. Okay, great. I believe every other person too can see my screen before I start.
Sir, I like this your opening slide. It's very, very emotional.
So yeah, the topic, the theme is delivering exceptional results. And what better way to exemplify exceptional results than the most recent exceptional results that we saw in the FIFA World Cup that just concluded, with Argentina, carrying the day and defeating France in the finals. Of course, it was exceptional because they had to outdo all odds. They had to play to the end. They had to give all their all, and for them to achieve what they achieved. Of course, with Messi finally winning a World Cup. How many Argentina fans are here? Or how many Messi fans are here?
We are Ronaldo fans. Yes.
I'm very sorry about that.
Success has many friends.
Okay, so I'll just give a better introduction of myself, just on top of what Evangelist Emmanuel has said. So my name is Olayinka Obasemola. I'm proudly Nigerian. My background is chemical engineering from Obasemola University, and I also have an MBA from Oxford University in the US. Through the first course of my career, I've been able to gather a couple of some worldwide certifications. So we have project management certification, PMP, and we have Sigma Black Belt certification by the American Society of Quality. I am proudly married to my wife. Her name is Tokbe, and I have 2 children. You can see their pictures there. I have a son who is 6 years, and I have a daughter who is 4 years. So like Evangelist said, I'm officially a decade in P&G and in my career tomorrow, 1st of January 2022. Wow. Yeah.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. It's been an exciting journey all the way. I started as officially as a process engineer. My career started actually in Ibadan, a production plant, a manufacturing plant for Procter Gamble, where we're manufacturing personal healthcare products, Vicks, then the Vicks variant, the Vicks Lemon, Vicks Apple, before we left off the business, and then dry laundry operations, where we produce Ariel, and then we have paper operations as well, where we produce Always and Pampers. So I was a process engineer. I started as a process engineer in the personal healthcare operations, where we're producing the Vicks variant. And then after like a year, I became the line manager of the operations. I took I did that one for about 2 years, and then I became the site warehouse supply network organization, supply network pillar, line manager, and then I took over the role of after a year, the fabric care line manager, and after a year as well, I took over as the site quality assurance manager, quality control manager, and I did that one for like almost 2 years. Then I took over as the overall site supply chain manager, alongside with my quality assurance work. So they more like a broadening scope of the work that I was doing back then in Ibadan. And then last year, I took over a regional role as the Sub-Saharan Africa supply chain manager. I'm currently based in Egypt, and I work from Egypt, managing supply chain operations across the key sub-Saharan countries. You can say the key ones: Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, and the smaller ones: Zimbabwe, Rwanda, Uganda, Ethiopia. According to our own business scheme. I mean, okay. So I have quite a wide range of experience, right? And it has helped me to build skills, particularly in supply chain design and planning, warehouse and manufacturing management, project management all the way. And my stint in quality assurance also gave me the skill of quality management. My hobbies, I have quite some interest in basketball. I used to tell my wife that if I was not born in Nigeria, probably I would be a basketballer. Okay, because I'm 6'2", I'm 6'2", and I believe if I was not born in Nigeria, I'll be 6'4" or 5", which will make me very good basketball height. Okay, I'm a football enthusiast, tennis enthusiast. I love reading, and I also love public speaking. So I love to give back in whatever way I can. My career achievements are there. I wouldn't like to go through it because there are technical terms that you might not understand. But some of the awards that I've gotten in my career and the ones I'm proud of. Of course, I've gotten quite some, but these are the key ones that I'm really proud of because of all the efforts that went into it with both me and my team to achieve it. That was the IMEA region, India, Middle East, and Africa region Cash Breakthrough Award. I actually got this award earlier this year when we had a $10 million cash savings, bottom line savings for the company. We had a Service and Resilience Award as well, Sub-Saharan Africa as well, for IMEA. When I was handling the quality role in Ibadan, we won the best plant in quality in the IMEA region just before I left the role. That was a very proud moment for me because I entered into the role in the heat of the moment where we're having quite some significant quality issues in the plant that was impacting the whole of Nigeria. And then we also won best plant with inventory breakthrough in IMEA region when I took over the overall supply chain work for the plant. Then my personal equity, first and foremost, I'm a Christian. I'm a born again Christian. I'm a lover of God. I'm a follower of Christ, follower of Jesus Christ. Leadership is big. I'm big on leadership. I believe in leadership. I like to train on leadership. I believe in leaders creating a better atmosphere, a better organization, and helping to deliver results even on the basis of leadership. Integrity. I believe in integrity. You say what you mean what you say. Whatever it is that you say you want to do, you do it. No twisting of words. And even integrity in character, making sure that what we see is what we see outside is what we see inside. There is no shady part anywhere. Disciplined execution. I mean, disciplined execution is. I'm also big on disciplined execution. If there are things that we've set aside to do, then we have to do it. We have no choice, right? We have to do it. I'm into innovation and simplification. So for every role I've taken, I've always found a way to what are the new things that needs to be innovated here? What is that new thing that we need to do here? What is the next S-curve that we need to achieve here? And what do we need to simplify? And finally, of course, when you innovate and simplify, you always continuously improve. So continuously improve, and then in line of continuously improve, you continuously learn and improve. So you learn new things and all that. So I think that's me in a nutshell. Please, the flags that you see there, I'm a Nigerian, of course. I don't belong to all of these countries, but all these other countries are countries where I either had a short-term assignment or a training to do or over there. And that's Egypt, where I work, India, where I took some of my most critical trainings for manufacturing, Czech Republic, where I also took part of my training for manufacturing, Turkey, where I took both an on-site work and training for my quality assurance role, Dubai, where I've always had to go to liaise with the top executive in Procter Gamble in this region, and the US that always has to give us what to do, and very recently Canada. Okay, so that's me in a nutshell. I think I forgot to say compliment of the season to everybody. Merry Christmas in arrears, Happy New Year in advance. It's a great year to come, and I wish you all the best, and pray that all your dreams and aspiration in the new year comes to pass. What a time to actually have this training, because this is the last day of the year, and we are just a few hours away into the new year. And I believe that it might be something to hold on to, going into the new year in terms of what are your new goals, what are the new things you want to do, how do you want to handle your career, what is the next victory you want to achieve in your career. Okay, so I just make sure to simplify it and call it 7 nuggets to deliver exceptional results consistently. Okay, so we're just going to talk about some 7 key points to delivering exceptional results. Not just delivering it at one time, but consistently. Because at the end of the day, when they say someone is a superstar, it's because the person has done it over and over and over and again, right? And it's that consistency that gives you that edge, above the rest, a lot of times, if not all the time. Okay, so we start. Okay, so the slides are going to be, a mix of scriptures, because of course we are professionals, we are professionals for Christ. So we will always take it from the scripture standpoint, and then we talk, the execution in the real world, or in the workplace, in the workplace standpoint. So planning. So plan. The first point is plan, right? We look at Ephesians 1:11. So I will read the scripture and then we'll go into the what is the keynotes themselves. So Ephesians 1:11 says, I'm reading from the KJV version. It says, in whom also we have obtained inheritance, being predestinated according to the purpose of him who worketh all things according to the counsel of his will. So this is talking about God working all things according to the counsel of his will, meaning that the will of God itself takes a counsel. God does not just do things haphazardly. God is not just an haphazard person. His will takes a plan. There's a plan alongside with the will of God. There is a plan. And alongside, we are godlike, right? We are godlike, and we are gods, children of the Most High. So, yeah, we also need to in being exceptional, as our God is exceptional, we need to understand that planning is the first key to start with, right? Now, first thing first, develop a master plan of actions in line with the company business need. So you could call it business needs, business objective, business goals, whatever it is, right? Always make sure that, for that deliverable that has been passed on to you as a subset of that goal, that objective, or that strategy that the company wants to achieve, right? Have like a set of plan, a set of actions, actionable plan that you want to use, that you want to execute, right? And those plans have to has to be achievable plans, right? They need to be the plans that, first of all, is linked to those objectives, and then is achievable. Okay, first of all, is linked to those objectives, and then it's achievable. Very important. So the plan has to be linked to the objective, and then it has to be achievable. And if you work in a team, make sure to hold regular progress reviews of those plans, right? One thing to note, to delivering exceptional results, try as much as possible to make sure that your plans are a bit stretched. So let me give an example. Like, okay, maybe the company is saying that we want to deliver top line 20% increase in revenue, which maybe is in revenue in this case through sales, right? And then when you want to put your own plans together, in terms of delivering an exceptional result, it's good to look at, capturing yourself to say, I want to deliver 30%, which is 10% more than the 20%. So that worst case, you deliver the 20%, and best case, you deliver the 30%, even case you deliver the 25%. And in all cases, you are not going to under-deliver. Best case, you over-deliver, right? So having that, set of actionable items that you want to execute to achieve the business goal, in line with the business goals of the company or of the organization is important. Hold regular reviews. In my line of work, for things that are day-to-day operations, the reviews are daily. So I hold daily reviews with my team, and as the case may be, weekly reviews for things that are weekly based in terms of how often I want to get those updates. And even if you don't have a team and you're just working alone, find a time for yourself to hold regular reviews of the things that you're working on. I mean, very important. Find a time for yourself to review the things you are working on, and be holistic in doing those reviews. Don't review if you are working by yourself, because when you are working by yourself, that's when it's a bit. It can be, you might want to give yourself a pass a lot of times, but if you are holistic enough, you'll be able to tell yourself, regular truths and know when to, make a change or something. Update your master plan as events and projects evolve. So, of course, your master plan would not be absolute, meaning that sometimes it would not be, it might not achieve those objectives and goals of the business, right? Sometimes what you put together may not achieve the objectives and goals of the business for different reasons. Maybe because it is wrong. It might also be that times has changed. Maybe inflation has come on top and your target has to go up. Maybe it's the political environment has changed and then you need to change something, But don't be rigid. Don't be rigid on this one. Or make sure that you are in touch with reality. And as things evolve, if it's a project, if it's a project that you're trying to deliver, and yes, maybe something you've seen that you've done it 3 times, it's still not giving you the result. I mean, it's time to say, okay, what am I doing differently, and capture it also differently. Okay. Ensure that your team is engaged and committed to the plan. One of the 5 E's of leadership: envision, engage, energize, enable, and execute, right? It is not because the vision has to go ahead. The most important thing a leader can do with his team is engagement. A disengaged team is a team that is not going anywhere, meaning a team that is not going to deliver any result. I mean, I don't know if some of you watch some of the World Cup matches, which is one of the one of the pictures I used to start the slide, right? I don't know if you saw the Gimeno sometimes from either Lionel Messi or Kylian Mbappe, right? You saw that they just found a way to keep their team engaged, whether through the way they communicate amongst themselves or whether through the way they try to energize themselves to still stay the course, right? Engagement is key. If your team is not engaged, then I mean you might outwork yourself and you might still not achieve the result, right? So ensure that your team is engaged and committed to the plan. Very, very important. You see the picture that we have here. You see how engaged that team is. You see how many hands are here, all trying to talk about a part of the plan. Okay, so that's number one nugget. Plan. You can hold your questions till after I'm done with the slides. After the slides, there will be time for question and answer session. Okay. I go to the next. Okay. Always exceed expectations. So Proverbs 22:29. This says, "Seeth a man diligent in his work, he shall stand before kings and not before mean men." I know this is a popular verse of the scripture that we must have all heard, but really it is true. Diligence, which is always synonymous with a person that strives as much as possible to exceed expectations, always stands you out, right? It always stands you out, and it starts with knowing and understanding the key deliverables of the business and how they contribute to the top line and bottom line of the results of the business. So when I say top line, I mean revenue. So every company is in business to make profit. At the end of the day, bottom line, with all the units, everything they are all doing, everybody is in it. All the units are all working together to make profit. So understand what those
We can't hear you, sir.
Hello?
Can you hear now?
Mr. Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Can you hear now? Can you hear us? We can hear. We can hear you now, sir.
Yes, I can hear you too.
Okay. Sorry, my network dropped. Should be back. It's back now. Can you still hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay. I don't know where you stopped hearing me. Share my screen back. Okay. Can anyone tell me at what point they stopped hearing me?
I think you were just speaking to the very first point. You know, I think second point, understanding the top line and bottom line.
Okay, and bottom line. Okay. So I continue from there. So understanding the top line and bottom line. So like I was saying, like for the regions I'm responsible for, the countries I'm responsible for, I understand that the top line contribution is service, which is sales, to increase revenue for the business, and the bottom line contribution is profits, which has to do with costs of running the supply chain and the cash inventory that we tie down. So I understand those points, and I know that those are the most important points. Those are the most important deliverables for my bosses and for my one-up bosses. So, and it has to be the most important deliverable for me and also for my direct reports. So it's very important because when you know it, you can also engage your own team. When you don't know it, then you might not be as committed as you should be to it, right? When you know it, you can also engage your own team. And if you work for an entrepreneur, same. What is the entrepreneur into? What does he want to achieve? What is his core deliverable? Are you helping him? And what is that? You know, how are you keen to that core top line and bottom line compelling business result for him, right? So in exceeding expectations, you also need to understand that you need to align on SMART goals, right? So SMART goals meaning it should be specific, it should be measurable, it should be achievable, it should be realistic, and it should be time bound, right? So your goals has to be something that is specific, in line with what the business needs. Specific, not just random. Specific. So in line with what business needs. Like in my own business now, like I have a certain deliverable to deliver cost reduction by 20% in the whole supply chain, and inventory cash reduction by 50% in the whole supply chain. So it's very specific. I know my supply chains. I know the different countries. I know what the cost of running those supply chains are. I know what the cost of running. I know what the inventory that we've had on ground to, as either safety stock or buffer stock to enable the service that we deliver to the customers. And I know and I then need to understand what is needed to achieve those things. But at least those are specific goals. Measurable. I just told you measurable. So I told you 50% and I told you 20%, right? Achievable. I mean, at the end of the day, if a goal is not achievable, then you can't really commit to it, right? If it's not achievable, then at the beginning you're a dead horse. you can't give your best to it, right? So achievable. Is it realistic? The goal has to be realistic, because if it's not realistic, then you are not going to help to deliver, the top line and the bottom line deliverables for the business. And time bound. So time bound meaning that it has to be within a specific period of time. And most times, the timelines that exist is, depending on the business. Sometimes it is quarterly, sometimes it is annually, right? And that annually doesn't necessarily mean. Hello, someone was saying something. Huh?
The person unmuted in error. You just have to mute the person.
Oh, okay. So time bound. So that, and when I say time bound, it doesn't have to be calendar annual. Most times it's fiscal annual, right? Like in my own business, the time bound that I look at is between June and July. So the 12-year period is between June and July. Some other people is January to December. I mean, but just making sure that there is something to look forward to. There is a time you are looking forward to. I mean, it's not just open-ended. There is a time you are looking forward to. Commit, over-deliver, no excuses. Very, very important. Commit, over-deliver, no excuses. You know, always have that notion that I have to go the extra mile. Always have it at the back of your mind. Whatever you are doing, I have to go the extra mile. You know, always have it at the back of your mind. Whatever I'm doing, I have to go the extra mile. The extra mile is very important. The extra mile, first of all, make sure that you deliver, at least, because there cannot be an excuse of under-delivery. You know, exceptional results talks about over-delivery. So the extra mile, first of all, talks about the fact that I must deliver, right? And then the extra mile definitely gives you the best opportunity to over-deliver. And in your mind, don't have excuses, right? If you think the goal cannot be achieved, I mean, already, you know, have a talk with your one-up manager and discuss it. You know, if you think cannot be achieved, discuss it. I mean, there's always a responsible and a polite way to say no, but don't say, okay, you're giving it to me. Well, I'll try my best, and then you try your best, knowing that your best will never be enough. That is not the thought process of one that wants to, you know, over deliver, you know, because in this case, it is no excuses. Like, you must have it on yourself that I would not give excuses. You know, I must tell you that one of the things that has helped my own career, I mean, I think I highlighted all the things I've done in 10 years. I think I've talking about 6 to 7 roles in 10 years. One thing I've done in my own career is that every time I got on a new role, I asked my manager and asked him, what is the most important deliverable on this role? You know, well, I know I have all these, you know, we call our own 5 rocks. Those are the deliverables from the business unit with respect to the overall company goals, right? I asked him, out of all these rocks, which one is the most important? Can you give me an order of priority, right? Because I really want to know what I need to do to be done and dusted with the role very fast, because I get tired of doing the same thing over and over and again very easily. So, and it has worked for me, right? Like, what do I need to do? What is the most important thing for you right now? And I start working together with him and with my team and all the rest. And yeah, we develop our own master plans. We develop all the actionable steps to deliver the goals. And yeah, I mean, we more of the times than not over deliver it, which has also given me the opportunity to change rules as fast as I wanted. Okay, no excuses, right? No excuses. We are not excusable, right? I think it is the book of Romans that talks about it. No excuses. That's inexcusable. You know, Brother Paul told King Agrippa, "Oh King, I am glad I was not disobedient to the heavenly call." Telling you that come rain, come sunshine, come icy, you know, black earth, I am going about the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ. I mean, and that's it. That is actually the thought process of an overachiever. That is why Paul wrote all the gospel, all the epistles that we see, right? Because I mean, Paul amongst his brethren was overachieving. No excuses. I was not disobedient to the heavenly call. No excuses. And that has to be our own, back-end thought process as well. No excuses. I am not excusable because at the end of the day, this is what, separates me. This is what, stands me out amongst the crowd. Okay? I hope you are following me and you are enjoying it. But most importantly, taking the learning. Okay? I go to the next one. Communicate openly and honestly. I want to read James. James 3, I will start from verse 2 to verse 8. This verse 2 is one scripture that I learned when I used to go for Bible quiz competition when I was young. And I think when I came across this scripture, like I've never heard anybody quote it in my life, but it really stood out to me. It really stood out to me, and I really put it at the back of my mind, and I memorized it. I think that was James 3:2. In many things we offend all, but if any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, is able to bridle the whole body. It was quite profound for me. But let me read the rest of the verses. Behold, we put bits in the horse's mouth that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. But also the ships, which though they be so great, and are driven of fierce winds, yet are they turned about with very small m, whithersoever the governor listed. Even so, the tongue is a little member, and boasted great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. For every kind of beast, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea, is tamed, and not be tamed of mankind. But the tongue cannot maintain. It's an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. The tongue, it's our fifth, is one of our sense organs, right? And with our tongue, do we eat, do we drink, and do we speak to communicate, right? But I would like us to focus on verse 3, verse 2 rather, which says, for in many things we offend all, but if any man offend not a word, the same as a perfect man is able to bridle the whole body. It really means that, in our means, in our ways of communication, we can really come off as a person of integrity. In the ways we communicate, which is very important for any professional. I tell you, Ali, I tell my direct reports, like, guys, like, I want you to be as skilled as you should be. I mean, know all the processes that we go through, know the software that we make use of, and all that. But but if I cannot trust you, I find it hard to work with you because it's too important, right? Like, what you communicate to me, I must be able to believe it. What I hear every day, I must not get surprises, right? And it's a line. Give regular updates on deliverables as needed, right? So there are things that you have to deliver and you are working on, right? Give regular updates. Say the update as of now. This is where we have gotten to. This is the progress we've made. These are the concerns. These are the milestones we've achieved and all that. Give regular updates, of deliverables as needed. Communicate exactly what is happening every time, right? Exactly what like. Don't communicate what you hope to happen. Communicate exactly what is happening every time. So when I say what you hope to happen, I don't mean that you should not be optimistic that you want to achieve your result. But your numbers are like, I achieve 30% improvement in something. And as of now, you are still even. You've not achieved anything at 1%. And then you are saying that we are gradually moving towards 10%. I mean, are you joking? That is flat out lying. No manipulation. Say exactly what it is. Because, you know, the biggest issue that a manager has of a direct report is if when you are talking to your, when the manager is talking to his direct report and the manager is feeling like, okay, in between the lines, the numbers don't add up. Or in between the lines, what this guy tells me is not what I believe. Or later, in between the lines, an emergency comes up, and the emergency totally negates the initial report you just gave your manager. I mean, that is the height of the distrust. That's when distrust comes up, right? So communicate exactly what is happening every time, no manipulations, right? Communicate during good times and bad times. So it's going good, you know, you are making progress, you are delivering benchmark results, things that never been heard of before. Also, right? Communicate, right? And in fact, put a presentation together and celebrate it. Get the flowers for it. Also, make sure to communicate in bad times, right? So when it's not going great, it's not going great. I mean, like, this is what we are doing right now. It's not going great, but communicate it as well, right? Of course, there's a skill in communicating, right? Let me give you an example, right? I'm currently managing a supply chain crisis for Nigeria right now on one of our businesses, right? And, you know, we had worked with one of our partners in Nigeria saying that they should affect a particular raw material to aid their production to bridge the gap of the time it will take to clear another the same raw material, very secret, right? Just last week, my partner on ground in Nigeria told me that the sea freight will no longer come at the time when it was meant to come. He told me that the sea freight will now come at 27th of Jan versus 9th of Jan. If it comes on the 27th of Jan, I've lost the whole of January in terms of supply for my supply chain. I've lost the whole of January. I can't produce because, first of all, I can't produce the volume that is needed. Even the volume that I can produce within 27th and 31st of Jan, I cannot supply to the customers because by then there will be a lot of competition for trucks in the whole of Nigeria. The last week of any month in Nigeria is competition for trucks to move anything in the country. So already I knew that, oh, wow, does it mean that the whole of Jan is lost? Bad, right? But there was a silver lining. So the silver lining was that he told me, oh, the sea freight then arrived. So the sea freight that we're trying to use the air freight to bridge then arrived. It said they arrived on the 26th, and the manufacturing partners we are working with is trying to expedite customs clearance at the Apapa seaport in like 10 days. I mean, so he told me it arrived on the 26th, so if they do 10 days, maybe they will come in on the 9th or 10th. I mean, like, it's still fair enough, right? So I will communicate both, right? I mean, but in line of how to communicate it, I communicated the positive news first. The positive news first is that the sea freight that we were skeptical about somehow arrived ahead of time. But I also tell you about the air freight that that has been cancelled because they will not arrive in time. 27th is losing the whole of January, right? And on top of that, I will also tell you that they told us they will clear it in 9 days, but their things could happen. I mean, it's Nigeria customs, Nigeria is Nigeria, Nigeria is what it is. Things could happen and it takes another like extra 5 days. It is what it is, but I will communicate exactly what it is. I will not come here and tell my manager, everything is fine, everything is okay, everything is all right. Don't worry, you'll be fine. I mean, you'll be fine, but there is a perspective. So communicate in good time, communicate in bad times. Don't place anything. Because when you place things, people no longer trust you. And trust me, trust is the most important thing in business. Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you work, you're a professional, trust. I mean, is there anybody they say has gained experience in something? Is the amount of trust bank he has built over the years. Trust is very important in being an exceptional person that is delivering exceptional results consistently. Trust, very key. Do not be afraid to seek help if you hit a wall. I mean, no, the best of us hit a wall. The best hitting a wall, meaning in this case, like things are not going good and you tried all your best and it's still not going good. You get help. Like talk to your bosses. I mean, talk to your other colleagues that are doing similar jobs. How do you guys navigate this route? Do not be afraid to seek help. Even the best of us, need help. No man is an island, Even the best of us need help. But do not be afraid to seek help if you hit a wall. Very, very important. Okay? I go to the next nugget. I like this one. Handle pressure with poise and professionalism. Handle pressure with poise and professionalism. So we take Proverbs again. I mean, Proverbs is just exceptional in pointing us to some of these key facts, right? Proverbs 24:10. If you fail in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. Please, this is a key fact for a lifetime. Whatever it is that you are doing, whether it's in business, whether it's in family, whether it's in a career, whatever it is, if you fail in the day of adversity, your strength is little. Bottom line, like the true test of your competency is how you handle pressure. And pressure in this case is when your execution is not yielding results. Because there is no way you constantly are having execution not yielding results. Not yielding result, and then you are not under pressure. If you tell me that you're not under pressure, I will be amazed at how much you can put it together. Right? And I can tell you for a fact that in my own career, in every role I've taken, I've always expected things to go wrong. I mean, like, see, I am a very positive person. By the grace of God, in my Christian work, I've taken, in my walk of faith, I mean, like, I've taken quite some steps in it, right? But I know that, what did Jesus say? He said, in this world you will have tribulations, but be of good cheer, you have what? You have overcome the world. It is a basic fact of life, right? See, I've come into a role in the state where everything was in turmoil. I've come into a role in the state where everything was just great. I've come into a role where in the state where it was neither great, it was neither turmoil, right? But in all of those cases, I have always expected a turmoil. Because if that turmoil doesn't come, it doesn't show that I have built any skill or I know what I'm doing. Right? That is it's just the way it is. And if you're in a role right now, you took it over, everything was just great, rosy, excellent, no issues, you're fine. I mean, don't be happy that you really know what you're doing. What makes you know what you're doing is when those things that you were handling and everything was going right, everything was lush, cool, everything was just happening right. When things happen unexpectedly, when you are the things you used to do that used to yield the same kind of result, stop using that result. That is when we know your competency. That is when we know, are you truly a guru? Are you truly a master of this area that can consistently deliver a certain result, notwithstanding the circumstance? Right? And that is where poise, composure comes in, right? I mean, it is not the time to be jittery. It is not the time to begin to, feel like, have I lost my mojo? Have I lost, my competency? It is bound to happen. If it doesn't happen, then you don't yet know what you're doing. Quite frankly, I mean, like maybe you know what you're doing, but you don't yet know to what extent you know what you're doing, if you call it that way, right? So be calm, be composed, try to understand the issue that is causing the pressure. Like try to understand it. Try to understand it. There's something we do in manufacturing. We call it universal problem solving to root cause analysis. So in manufacturing, we applied a bit to supply chain as well. And I mean, the thought process is applicable everywhere. It's just that the execution might not be like for like accordingly in terms of the use of the tool. We look at things like we do like a 6W2H, where we ask a lot of questions and we try to get a refocused problem statement of why the issue is happening, right? Then we go to the fishbone, where we'll say what are the probable causes of this. Then we do a cause and effect, and we say, okay, with this issue cause this issue, with this issue cause this issue, with this issue cause this issue, with this cause this issue, and then we cross out those that are likely not, and those that we've seen that maybe are the 1 or 2 or 3 that have, passed that cause and effect. Then we take it to the why, and we ask all the whys. So we get to a point where we can answer a why for a systemic failure. So we get to a point where we can answer the why for a systemic failure. So once we get that why for a systemic failure, we know that we've gotten to a point, right? So it's either that a system doesn't exist, or the system exists and is not robust. If it's not robust, meaning that it is not good enough to achieve your results consistently. Maybe that's why you're having results now, and then when the going gets tough, you're no longer having the results. Or the system exists and probably is not being followed by the team, right? So we deep dive into the root cause of the issue to get to know why this issue is occurring. And then, I mean, as a leader, as a co-worker, as a professional, always avoid pointing fingers, right? Even if someone else is responsible for why the issue is coming up or why something is happening, always avoid pointing fingers, right? Take the responsibility head on. Take it head on. Okay? Always avoid pointing fingers, because that's really what you show where you are at as a professional. That's what you show where you're at as a professional. How do you handle stress? How do you handle when things are not going right? How do you handle, how do you handle it? Of course, you must pray, which is fundamental. But in the place of prayer is the place of instruction. In the place of instruction is the place of what to do. How do you handle it? Very, very important. And the pressure with poise and professionalism. I want us to look at this guy, Tyler Adams. He was the captain of the United States captain in the last World Cup. I want us to hear an interview that I did with an Iranian journalist, in the last World Cup, and I just want us to hear. Let me get to it. Okay. Can you hear the video? Can you hear it? Hello?
You need to reshare your screen, sir, so that you can share sound.
Oh,
I don't think you are currently sharing sound.
Okay. No, I need to go off my wireless. So let me do something. I'll go off it now.
You can reshare your screen, but just before you share, you click on the button that says share laptop sound. Not necessarily this page, sir. There's a function when you stop sharing, sir. When you stop sharing and you want to reshare, there's an option for you to, there's a button to say share sound.
Wait, can you hear this one?
No, sir.
Can you hear it?
No, sir.
Yeah?
No, sir.
No. Okay, I'm coming.
Maybe you should just stop sharing, sir. And reshare. Just before you reshare, there's an option to say share laptop sound or device sound.
Yes.
You click on share, there will be an option to say that sound.
Okay, I've seen it. Thank you. Okay.
Say you support the Iranian people, but you're pronouncing our.
Can you hear it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
First of all, you say you support the Iranian people, but you're pronouncing our country's name wrong. Our country is named Iran, not Iran. Please, once and for all, let's get this clear. Second of all, are you okay to be representing a country that has so much discrimination against Black people in its own borders?
My apologies on the mispronunciation of your country. Yeah, that being said, there's discrimination everywhere you go. One thing that I've learned, especially from living abroad in the past years and having to fit in different cultures and kind of assimilate into different cultures, is that in the U.S. we're continuing to make progress every single day. Like you just educated me now on the pronunciation of your country. So yeah, it's a process. I think as long as you see progress, that's the most important thing.
First of all, you.
Okay. I don't know if we got the banter that was going on there, but I will explain it. Okay. So can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in that banter, right? I don't know if one of us has been following international politics in the past. In the past 3 months, I think, or 2 months until December, there has been a regular protest in Iran about a woman that the morality police killed because she was not wearing a hijab correctly, right? So there has been some tension between the U.S. and Iran, and I think even before this match that they were about to play, Iran was calling on FIFA to ban US because they removed a part of their flag, ahead of the competition. So this is the captain of the United States team, Tyler Adams. He was in a pre-match interview with a journalist, and first of all, the journalist said that he pronounced the name of the country incorrectly. He said he called it Iran, and it's meant to be Iran. And then he asked him that you are Black, you are playing for America. With all the racism that is going on in America, do you feel comfortable? Right? I mean, those two questions are hot pressure point questions. Questions that the way he answers it could be a big diplomatic issue for the US already, depending on the way he answers it. But I don't know if you observed the way he responded. He was quite calm, he was quite confident, and he was quite articulate, right? First of all, he said he's sorry that he called it Iran instead of Iran. So, right, that he presented an olive branch saying he's sorry. And then next afterwards, he then said, gave a context and the perspective to I am black, I am not black, right? So he said, okay, fine. I mean, racism is all over the world. It's not only in the US. I actually have played professional football outside of the US for a period of years now in several countries, and I've faced racism everywhere. So it's an ongoing topic that, by the grace of ongoing topic that will be, we keep on being a topic that we will keep on handling, and the world will keep on getting better at. I mean, like, I've watched this interview like 5 times, and I'm just so amazed at how the poise and how professional this guy was. And guess his age? This guy's age is just 24 years old. And at 24 years old, he's the captain of a team. It's a show of mastery by itself. The way he handled that communication and the way he navigated himself, around the questions while answering it and not becoming, and not petrifying the listener or, degrading either ways of the country, right? This is an example of a profession, someone handling his job with poise and professionalism, right? And this is the way it should be, right? Be calm, be confident, know where you are going to, understand how you want to solve the issue, go ahead to solve the root cause, come out of it, being a better professional and still pushing ahead to achieve your results, right? I can give an example of myself as well, right? So when I took over the South Africa supply chain, it was in a mess. Service was horrible. There was a lot of customer complaints. There was a lot of inventory build up on ground and all that. Like it was in a mess. And thankfully, going through all these steps, right, within 1 month, no, within 2 months. So when I took over the South Africa supply chain, the country itself, I took it over January of this year. And by March, we had gotten to that point, like we had done the fix of all the issues. And we finished the fiscal year on a quite a big high, right? Do you know that we came into this fiscal year and, I mean, unforeseen circumstances, unplanned circumstances, external circumstances just came up again. The contract manufacturing team we're working with South Africa was giving us a lot of issues, saying that they want to increase costs and they want us to do something on the cost of engagement. And they weren't supplying us. Their facility was down. They had quite some breakdowns, and we were having issues. As we were going to go on top of that, there were some products we were importing from France and Italy. They were telling us that they had a supply chain logistics issue as well, and those products are not going to come in time. So every month, South Africa, month on month, for a service target that we had for 95%, we were only eating 88%. I mean, that's 88%. No, we're only eating 79%. Horrible results. Horrible. Like, and I don't know, for a lot of us that have that structure, like, I go into those weekly meetings and I'm talking to my bosses, my bosses, and I'm telling them all the issues that are happening, everything. Even for me, sometimes to say it is like, can the issues not stop? But the truth is that is the issue. But in all of those cases, I was calm, right? I understood what the issue was. I made sure I was very clear with what the numbers were saying, and I was communicating the numbers as they were. And I was telling them that, I mean, this particular supply chain has this specific issue. Good enough, of course, if it's happening to me, particularly for products that we're bringing in from outside, it was happening to some other brands related to my supply chain. So at least by the time they checked what I was saying with what other people were saying, mine was not like the odd one out. It was like, it's happening across, but we expect that we can fix this within some time, right? And within 2-3 months again, we're able to fix it. First of all, that was the challenge of my own mastery of the supply chain and the supply chain planning and design that we put together. And then it also shows that I have, evolved to understand even a bit more, even than the first time when I fixed the initial issue when I came on board, right? But that poise, that pressure, that professionalism, just being calm and understanding the issue, knowing the root cause of the issue, very important as a one that wants to continue to achieve exceptional results. Let me move. Okay, I'll be fast on this one. Work with people and through people. Abraham, Gideon, David, Jesus. I mean, several examples that we have in the Bible. Believe in the people that work with you. They are your best asset. People are your best asset. Believe in the people that work with you. Coach, accelerate, respect, empower. I mean, these are all subsets of the 5 E's of leadership. Vision, engage, energize, empower, execute. Very important. You know, respect the people that work for you, work with you. Don't belittle them. Show them show them the measure of the respect they should have, whether they report to you, whether they are your age mates, whether they are not your age mates, whatever it is, whether you're older than them, whether they're older than you, whatever it is, just respect people. Provide help and support, provide energy and inspiration. See, man works best by inspiration. If anybody is not inspired at anything, they can't give it their best, no matter what. Forget it. They can't give you their best. So you need to find a way to get it, to inspire people to produce their best, so that you can't do everything by yourself. Even if you don't have direct reports, people reporting to you, people working for you, you have people you're working with. You have to find a way to get the best out of them to help you to keep on delivering exceptional results, or to deliver exceptional results, right? For the people that are working with you, if they need help, if they need support, don't castigate them and say, how come you don't know what you are doing? How come like this? Support them, right? Particularly people that are new on the road, they just came in, they don't even know the organization, they don't know how it works, they don't know the nuances, they don't know how the politicking and all that, which you can't take away from any organization. Provide help and support. Empower them. What are the things they need? Is it a software they need to go and learn? Is it a particular corporate skill they don't have? Business writing, business writing, business communication, and all those things. Empower them, teach them, coach them, let them know what they need to do. Okay. I'm going to run on this one. I believe that it's quite straightforward, and you can see the people climbing the mountain, wanting to help themselves. You can see the leader, trusting everyone, and everyone trusting the other person. So you can see what a leader can do that can enable trust among the team. When a leader trusts that next person, the next person trusts the next person. Okay, we go to the next one. Sharpen the saw. So Proverbs 18 verse 1. It says, through desire, a man, having separated himself, seeketh an intermediate with all wisdom. So it says, through desire, a man, having stepped out, separated himself, seeketh, meaning that he is going after. Intermediate, meaning that he is acquiring all wisdom. Right? So, sharpen the saw, it's the 7th principle of the 7 principle of highly effective people by Stephen Covey. It talks about the body, the heart, the mind, the spirit. And I mean, I'll just give you in a nutshell, right? Know when to take time away to take care of yourself to rest. That's number 1. That's your body. You are your most important asset. You are the most important asset to yourself, and then to the company. My company used to say that the interests of the company and the individual are inseparable, right? So yourself is an asset. So know when to take a time off. Know when to call. Know when to stop. Pushing the boundaries, and okay. Know when to stop pushing the boundaries, and know when to take a time to relax, because the truth is that you can never take away, for anybody who is constantly delivering exceptional results, you can't take away stress. Forget it. I mean, no matter who that, you cannot take away stress at some point in time. I think I was talking to my I was talking to the visionary of NPM, and I was telling him why I'm not in Nigeria right now. I think he may understand a bit better now. So I was telling him why I'm not in Nigeria right now. You can't take away stress. Stress will always come at some point, but no way to take the time off, right? Regularly take time away to assess yourself to identify improvement opportunities, right? Identify, that skill that you have, that opportunity in line of the area to build the next skill, the area to, to come up either and all that. Let me tell you something. I hope you can all still hear me. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. Okay, so for me, I am privileged to be in a company that says, whatever we don't train you for, do not do. So, and that was where you were saying all those countries there, right? Because they do their best to take you out to go and train here. But I always made sure I did something. I always made sure I trained myself, notwithstanding. And that is where all those certifications came from, right? When I came into the company, I was a process engineer. A process engineer basically was handling engineering projects within a manufacturing facility. Improvement projects, loss elimination projects. So I knew that I needed to sharpen my project management skills. So I went for the training. P&G wasn't going to give me a project management training because there is a separate project team that has a direct line of cost to project management training, not a process engineer. But a process engineer also manages projects only that is within the manufacturing facility, not construction projects, not civil projects, not electrical projects, right? So I took it upon myself to go and take the training and take the certification to tell myself that I know it on top, right? And that's what made me become a PMP certified, right? Supply chain, right? No, let me not go to supply chain. Quality. When I became the site quality assurance manager, they trained me quite all right. And I mean, they trained me. I was on a 6-month course training, and they trained me. I finished my training. I qualified as the site quality assurance manager and all that. But I said, okay, if I say I'm the site quality assurance manager and I want to defend this in my resume to say I know this thing, let me go to the cream de la cream of the body of quality, which is American Society of Quality, ASQ, and take their training and write their certification. And I did that, right? I trained myself. And on top, I learned new things. The things that I knew the why behind the why of some of the trainings that I took. So I learned new things. And it was obvious that training sincerely, for me, was like, it could have been a cheat code. It was, I can say it was a cheat code for me because I took that training and suddenly the things that the past quality assurance manager couldn't get to achieve, couldn't get to do, I did it within months because the training gave me a certain perspective, a certain skill that probably he did not have. So take time away to assess your improvement areas and take a training. I'm currently working on a global supply chain certification now as well. Because for me, it's always a goal. Like, don't stay on the current place where you are. Always have that next thing you want to improve upon your own skill area, right? And not just train. I mean, it can be even cheaper. There are courses on Coursera. There are courses on Udemy. I have like 3 or 4 courses I've taken on Udemy that I've bought with my own money to take. When I identified an improvement area for myself, okay, I want to know a bit more about Power BI. I want to know a bit more. Of course, we use Power BI in my place of work and is an ongoing thing. So I want to know a bit more about developing a Power BI for myself. I took my training and now I can develop Power BI by myself without help. Right? I want to know a bit more about some programming in Excel. I took a training on it, and now I can do quite some things on it, right? So sharpen the saw. Like you know what it means when they say sharpen the saw. Imagine like you are using a blunt saw to cut a wood. How long will it take? I mean, if you should cut that piece of the log of wood for like 20 minutes, when it is blunt, it could take up to 3 hours. So, but when you sharpen it and you make it sharp, right, the 30 minutes can be achieved, if not in the extra time, right? Even in sharpening the saw as well, take care of your heart, invest in the emotional bank of care relationship. I talk about work-life effectiveness, not work-life balance, just to be very clear, right? I think work-life balance is an what is it, white elephant project. I don't think it's possible. But work-life effectiveness definitely possible, meaning that life, when to switch between work and between life. Sometimes work will take more time. Sometimes it is family, it is other relationships that will take more time. And as it comes, give it to it. It is what it is. That's the way life is. You're always striving to achieve that balance. You will never achieve that balance. But at least make sure that you are not cheating either side in any way. Just strive at it. Keep striving at it. Keep striving at it. Okay? Because for you to say you're a high flyer, you're achieving consistent exceptional results, I mean, the extra time will be demanded from you from work. I mean, that's just being practical and not trying to place it. Okay? Now, finally, follow the principle of honor. Okay, let me read the Bible verses. Romans 12:10. Romans 12:10 says that be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love, in honor preferring one another, right? And then our beloved Proverbs, King Solomon must have been a very wise man. Proverbs 13:15. Good understanding giveth favor, but the way of the transgressor is hard. So what is honor itself? Honor is designing, rewarding, and celebration of men for their distinct difference. Just to be very clear, honor is not worshiping anybody, but it's acknowledging and designing and rewarding and celebrating that this person is distinct for this thing. Okay? And this principle is both upward and downward, meaning that both to your one-up, two-up managers and to the people that report to you, even amongst your team, right? Even amongst your peers, right? Practice honor. Because, the next point I just put here is very important. Honor or lack thereof can impact perspective. In my place of work, younger in my career, I used to be very, I was getting experience, and let me say I used to be, I don't want to call it brutal, but that I can't find another way to it. Not because I was rude, but I would just make sure to achieve my result. And sometimes I might not so much, pay attention to the other nuances of how people are, feeling like this guy just sometimes just too pushy, sometimes all these things, Not just trying to understand the nuances of, what else people expect from me apart from just doing your job. The point of, saying the extra thank yous, saying the extra great job, saying the extra acknowledging that your manager, taught you something or gave you a particular insight. Those little things were missing. So I was achieving exceptional results, but nobody was saying I was achieving exceptional results. And I was like, what's happening here? What's the disconnect? They will tell you it's perspective. They say it's perspective, this and this and that. Okay. And then I caught it like, perspective. I was missing that key attribute of the nuance of honor, right? Follow the principle of honor. You see, Proverbs 13:15 that says that, but the way of the transgressor is hard. It's really not transgression or sin in this case, because the first part of it was good understanding giveth favor, right? So the transaction in this case is not talking about sin or it's not talking about disobedience, all this kind of thing. It's really talking about when you don't have respect for patterns. When you don't have respect for patterns and you feel like you will do the opposite of those things that allow those patterns to give this particular result, and you will get the favor you need to get out of it, it will likely not work that way, and it doesn't work that way. Because everything has its own pattern. Even the workplace nuances have their own pattern. So, practice principle of honor. Practice it. It will give you favor. Because it's not just achieving exceptional results, it's also getting the benefit thereof, like you should. I mean, the fast break at work, the fast promotions, the early rising, the favoritism. Call it that way. It is what it is. Yeah, it is the favoritism. You need it. The fact that your manager can see that sometimes you are struggling at some point, even though you are a good performer, you're an excellent performer, and you will go to any length to go and defend you and say, what are you talking about? You mean this person? This person is exceptional. Whatever is happening right now is just, it's just potent. It's gonna stop. I mean, this person is doing all he can, is doing his best. See, people must speak for you, even as you are achieving those exceptional results. People must talk on your behalf, even as you are achieving those exceptional results. Because anyways, in life, there are blind spots, and those blind spots, people must cover it for you because you are obeying this principle of honor. And one of the most important, way to honor people is practice gratitude. Practice gratitude. With both God and man, of course. Practice gratitude. Say thank you. Say great job. Say wow. Say this. I mean, practice gratitude. Note that whatever grace you honor is the one you would attract. Right? So identify the graces that people carry, people that work with you carry, and appreciate it. You appreciate those graces, you attract those graces, whether by attracting it and building the skill of that grace, or by that grace, going to go and pave way for you. Practice it. Okay? And that's the last principle. That's the last nugget. Follow the principle of honor. Okay? So I tried my best to speed up and give us 20 minutes earlier. So I think if you have questions, you can let me know. I will be available to answer. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir, for that powerful session. Can we just celebrate Mr. Obasemola? Just do something. Reactions in the room. Let's appreciate our facilitator. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, sir. And so if you have questions, you can just unmute your mic one after the other. Maybe you first take your question very quickly. You have questions in the room? Okay, maybe I should just ask this question. From my experience, I realized that most of the time when you're trying to practice the principle of honor that you mentioned last, it could probably be misinterpreted as you're trying to unduly seek favor from people so that they don't say anything. So how do you strike that balance so that you don't in the process of practicing the principle of honor also creates another wrong perception of yourself within the organization or within the business.
Okay. Thank you so much for that question. And I think that's a very great question. So the first thing is that when do people perceive that you are being you are trying to seek a particular favor, you are trying to you are trying to seek to be liked or seek a particular thing, like, because like it looks as if you are overdoing something. A lot of times people perceive that when you don't even have the pedigree, right? So a lot of times people tend to perceive that when you don't have the pedigree. So what do I mean? Like, the person is not one of the people well regarded in that light for doing well in career or for doing well at what the person is given to do, right? The person is not the person is either perceived as middle of the pack or bottom of the pack, right? But the first principle, and that's why that was the last principle, right? Because the first thing is that you are seen as, the top of the top, cream de la creme. You are seen as, this person is a top performer. You get, right? This person is someone that has separated himself out. So even when you are then practicing this principle in moderation, of course, it's not to be lavishing people with what they are not. It's not to be creating false pretense of and of competence with other people that they don't have, right? And like I said, in moderation, when you are practicing it, it doesn't come off as this person is taking something, this person is taking something, this person is being forward another. It just comes off as on top of the mastery this person gained in his work, the person also has character. Because people cannot stand that you don't have character. Even if you know what you are doing, because it's not that the other two cannot achieve part to an extent what you are doing. But when they see that you are doing all this, you are doing all these things, you are excelling, you are delivering exceptional results, but attitude is not there, right? They don't believe that you can your character can pave way, your character can pave way, and sorting things out. Then people start being suspicious. So, and then they start saying, okay, the guy is good, but the person is good, but you don't want that but. So, and that's why I said with moderation and the fact that you are performing exceptionally, blurs that point and avoid that point from being the actual talking point or being the forefront of the talking point of why this person is doing this thing. Is it because he's looking for something and all that? I don't know if you understand or you got my response.
Yes, very, very clearly, sir. Thank you for that. Thank you for that response. Simon Sinek, the author of the book that we are currently studying, says something that what employers are looking for these days are not necessarily smart employees, but loyal employees with character. Do you understand? Because you can, yes, it's one thing for you to be good at what you're doing, but it's another thing is for your people to see that you are not being brash about it, you are not rude because of that, and you are still recognizing the fact that there are people above you that showed you the way to success. Of the truth, you do not just enter into the organization and started running the way you are currently running, exceptional. Some people should take that credit. I remember an example, if you allow me to share that. One of my, I left my former boss and I started leading Cardinal Professional Services, a consulting business, and I got the opportunity to appear on some of the TV stations, and some of my former bosses, they called me, they were like, Emmanuel, you are taking over the market to, and I was quick to let them know that, no, you are the one that trained us now. The credit is to you guys, you understand? And, I can just see the satisfaction in the tone. He was happy, you understand? I don't necessarily have to say that because I'm no longer under you. Do you understand? But that posture in the future can even bring any opportunity in my direction if you know, because this guy is my guy. He's very, you understand? He's very respectful, you understand? He honors people. But that doesn't take away the fact that first and foremost, they must be sure that I know my onions and I can deliver on whatever I promise to deliver, as a professional. So thank you very much, sir, for that response. I think that was very helpful. I don't know if there's any other question in the room so that we can quickly take it. Otherwise, we go into the announcement section. Okay. Any other question? Okay. Is it that our facilitator was too clear, or for us not to have any question at all? Can you just drop in the comment section what you learned in today's session and what stood out for you, the lesson 1 or 2 that you're going to take home and work on? You can just drop it in the chat box so that we can get your feedback. So once again, we want to sincerely appreciate Mr. Obasemola Olayinka for making out time to be part of this semester. This semester has been an experience for me, particularly, starting from the first class session and then the second and then the third class. Yes, we all are speaking to the same thing, but, from different experience angle where we all can pick up one lessons or the other from, and like I said, one of the ways that we can actually be an effective preacher of the gospel or a workplace evangelist is, first of all, by delivering exceptional results. When people identify you with exceptional results, they will gravitate towards you, and that then gives you an opportunity to become the light of the world. But if you are forcing yourself on people without being the center of excellence at your workplace, you will constitute a nuisance. They will ask you a simple question: Is this your Jesus responsible for this shoddy performance that you are parading within the organization? If that your Jesus is what is responsible for that, I don't want to associate with that. So that's why we are taking out time to equip us, on what we need to do career-wise, professional-wise, remembering that we are the light of the world, so that we can shine the light effectively. So thank you once again, Mr. Obasemola. I will go straight into the announcements now. We are going to be able to see Mr. Obasemola for one more time, which is the last contact for this semester. It's happening in the last weekend, the last Saturday in the month of January. So you may want to block your calendar now, and we will also post reminder on the page, so that you can be carried along. That session is going to have our other facilitator, myself, and Adenike Salako that took the last session, and then our coordinator himself, Mr. Emmanuel Echo, will also be in that session. So we expect you to come. First of all, we will appreciate if 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people amongst us can come up with a short 1 or 2 slide presentation, stating the lessons you've learned from this semester and how you intend to apply them on your career, on your business, or whatever you may endeavor that you may be involved in. So I will appreciate if Antonia, who has been acting as the class governor, reach out to the rest of us in the room. Those people that are yet to catch up with the prior videos, they let them catch up so that they can get the value that this entire program promised to deliver to everyone. So in that session also, we will be having a question and answer. So every other question that you may have and you want us to discuss, you can come with it during that session. But prior to that session, you can make do of the Telegram platform. If you have any urgent question and you want to respond from anybody within the faculty to help you respond to, we have that window from January to the end of February, when we'll then definitely bring down, the mentoring platform was a Telegram page, and that page will cease to exist. But prior to that, you can engage the faculty and get your questions answered real time on that page, And lastly, we have been reading the book Start With Why. And I want to believe that a number of us has been reading the book. I've been reading the book, and during the last session, also we will be reviewing the book and also discussing some of the important lessons that we should take away from this semester. So thank you everyone that joined. We sincerely appreciate your time. From the faculty and everybody at Network of Professionals for Missions International, we want to say compliments of the season and a happy new year in advance. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.